Okay, this tale takes place in Australia around 2011, when I was in ninth grade at my old high school. And the story involves two friendship groups, A and B, with the key characters being me, N, and the Z-tard, Bindi-chan. Now, Bindi has an obsession with DBZ that is so toxic that it leads her to staying indoors for long periods of time. So much so that the lack of vitamin D goes to her head, preventing her from understanding that normal society, how it works, and makes her physically look like a gremlin. Now, some background info is that Group A consists of me and my friends, and Group B consists of N and Bindi. The story is the product of Group A combining with Group B. Now, Bindi is a socially awkward girl with the mental age of an 8-year-old, mind you that she is 15. She is obsessed with Dragon Ball Z. She has a huge collection of such paraphernalia such as clothing, phone charms, posters, toys, phone wallpapers, books, etc. And she wears with her or brings to school every day. And 90% of her conversation topics include DBZ. So much that I think some of Group B suffered some minor brain damage as a result. She is shunned by a majority of the school body for some reason, unknown to me, and is very unpopular. To give you perspective, she is so unpopular to the point that her only true friends were this one girl who was equally unpopular and immature, and who enjoyed making terribly drawn, cringeworthy Sonic the Hedgehog OCs. And the only other people who really liked her were the carers of the mentally disabled kids in the school. Mind you that while she was highly intelligent and acted like a sheep, she was not disabled. So Bindi sits in class all day in and day out, and talks to absolutely no one and pretty much fails all her subjects. So one day N feels bad for her and sits next to her in class and tries to cheer her up. Now after sitting next to her, Bindi eventually begins to stick to N like a leech, getting into her personal space, stalking her everywhere on the school premises, and initiating pointless conversation. She kills all of N's conversations with other people by going off topic with DBZ, providing some random shit like, "Do you know a washing machine washes clothes?" Which unintentionally prevented others from approaching N due to them feeling disgusted at her repulsive gremlin-like appearance. Eventually, she begins to stalk N on her way home eventually after school. N does not like this and tries everything in her power to make this fiendish gremlin leave her alone, but to no avail. Eventually, N seeks out her other group, Group B, in an attempt to make some visual strength and numbers to drive her back to her hole, but again, to no avail. So what ends up happening is that we have Group B with a gremlin tailing behind them. Eventually, some of the other members of Group A with me and Group B end up mingling, which leads to both the groups meeting together. This is the moment I discovered the horrible creature. The members of Group A and B got along pretty well, except for the fact that we now have Bindi-chan, the gremlin, following us wherever she goes. She would follow her same usual routine, interrupt our conversations with endless and brain-exploding amounts of DBZ, creepily laugh when there was nothing to laugh at, mindlessly followed 2 meters behind Group A and B and more DBZ. We actually did an experiment where we tried to see how intelligent she was. Me and Group A walked around a 1.5 meter diameter circle 5 times, and she would still follow us. Now one day, Bindi-chan gets this amazing idea to boost her popularity within the school, but ended up making her look pretty much worse. She signs up for the high school talent competition. Her act? Belly dancing. But not just any belly dancing. It is the most half-assed, cringeworthy thing I have ever witnessed in my high school life, which the whole school thought was hilarious. Shortly after, due to the failing so hard at her comedy routine, the filthy gremlin came up with a vile plot to take her frustrations out on an innocent child in an attempt to grab social power in the form of dominance. That child was me. During lunch later that day, when I'm with Group A, she comes up behind me during lunch while I'm eating a small tub of yogurt. She swings back her scaly leg and then kicks a small amount of dust on me. Being the nice person I am, I assumed it was an accident. She does it again, so I tell her, "Please stop doing that." She proceeds to do it again with more force. I then grab a spoon of yogurt and tip it to the ground in front of her, saying, "If you do it again, I'll put yogurt all over you." She smirks a devilish smirks and proceeds to kick a huge amount of dirt into my general vicinity for the 4th time. And this is where it gets good. I stand up calmly, dust myself off, smile the biggest troll-faced smile pause, and then proceed to pelt with the full force the remainder of my yogurt at the gremlin, coating her head to toe in delicious wild berry-flavored dairy goodness. Gremlin stands still for a moment, shocked at what just happened. She has yogurt dripping from her face, her hair, and her clothes. She realized she just got wrecked. She lets out a high-pitched death screech and flees back to wherever cesspool she crawled out of. And as she flees, I holler a friendly tone, "You asked for it." There's a short silence. Me and the other members of Group A are stunned. We look at each other in utter amazement. And then, high fives all around, followed by cheering and intense laughter. N comes around and we explain what happens, and N's jaw drops in amazement. More high fives and intense laughter. Eventually, news of the gremlin's defeat has reached nearly all corners of the school. I'm getting high fives from random people and compliments left and right, and center with the act becoming the most talked about thing that month. In the end, I did get called up by a teacher to pay for the dry cleaning, which I only had to pay $2 out of the $15 in Australian, and skimmed out on the rest. The gremlin also had to explain her reason for kicking dirt all over me, which was the crappiest excuse I ever heard in my life. Because I felt like it. Which completely showed how evil this creature was. But who cares, $2 to wreck a gremlin and become the talk of the month sounds like a good deal to me. She still follows us, which is a bit of a pain. But she dares not anger the Asian because she knows she's my bitch.